Thank you for clicking on this Rank the Movie bonus video. Um, it is Friday night at about 11:30ish, and I just got home from watching Studio 666, the new Foo Fighters movie. Um, I About 8 o'clock tonight, I just went, I'm gonna go see a movie. There are two I wanted to go see, that and Cyrano, and I'm like, I'll go. I'm sure that I checked, and they both, I don't remember exactly what times they were at, but I knew they both had times that started roughly around 9ish. So I'm like, I'll go when whichever one starts first is the one I'm going to see. And Studio 666 had the earlier showtime. So I went and checked that one out. Like I said, it's a Foo Fighters movie made by the band, I think during COVID. I wouldn't be surprised after watching this movie that it wasn't a COVID movie, that it's just something they made because they had a lot of free time on their hands because they weren't touring. Um, because it is a very simple movie, in the idea that there's not a lot of actors in it. Um, if you say the Foo Fighters are actors playing themselves, then you have the seven band members. I think it's six or seven members of Foo Fighters, and then you've got like Will Forte, Jeff Garland, Whitney Cumming, um, and like two Jenna Ortega and like two or three other people actually in this movie. So it's a very small cast. Basically, the plot of the movie is the Foo Fighters are preparing to make their 10th album, but they want a very Dave Grohl wants a very specific sound, so they're sent to this old mansion to record their new album. Dave Grohl ends up getting possessed by a demon and tries to make demonic Satan music. And along the way, he starts to murder his bandmates. Yeah, the Foo Fighters are in a movie where they slowly die and they're playing themselves. It's really weird looking at the Foo Fighters because they're a band that have been around since like the late 90s, early 2000s. And some of them, because like I said, there's like six or seven members of the Foo Fighters, and some of them still look like rockers. Like Dave Grohl still looks like a rocker. Their keyboardist still looks like a rocker. Their drummer still looks like a rocker. Um, but all of their guitarists, which I think add up to three. I think it's three guitarists. They all look like dads, which is fine. Like they can look like dads. They just don't look like rock stars anymore. They just look like lame dads. And like they're lame dads who can play the guitar amazingly, but they still look like lame dads. Um, but yeah, so they're trying to create this one song that's like 40 something minutes long, that is supposed to open a doorway to Satan, apparently, if they complete it correctly. And Whitney Cummings plays the next door neighbor who has more insight into what's going on and events that happened in 1993 when the last rocker was in this mansion trying to make a album and record this song. Um, it's a fun movie. It's got a lot of good jokes. I was in a theater. So here's the weird thing. Um, I've heard another YouTuber talk about this movie over on Schlock and Ah. It's a YouTube channel I follow. And he talked about this movie. Yes, I think he posted the video last night into today. I already heard about this movie. I saw a trailer for it a couple of months ago, and I was already interested in seeing it. I wasn't like marking it on my calendar, but I knew I wanted to see it when it came out, because the trailer just looked ridiculous. And apparently, in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia is the city. Pennsylvania is the state. It's late. Apparently, in um, Pennsylvania, it's not like a well-known movie that this thing was coming out. Well, in Wisconsin, I feel like every theater has it. At least right now, an opening weekend, every theater's got it. And this particular showing was on a super screen. That's another reason why I'm like, I should go see this. Like, this is an old school, like, this is a throwback to 80s horror on a super screen. Like, yeah, I want to see that. I want to check that out. So it's really cool because there's this huge screen. So there wasn't a lot of people in the theater. There might have been like a dozen total. Of course, because it's a super screen, it's a lot of seats, and like there's basically in the stadium section of it, there was basically people in every row, but it was only like one set of, like, I was in a row by myself, and this couple was in the row in front of me, and there were people in the row, like, so basically one, like, you got your own row. You and whoever you're with got your own row, and I was just me. So there is a scene where a food delivery guy shows up to the house, and it's definitely the Exorcist scene. That famous Exorcist scene of the priest standing outside of the house at night with the wind, like that. It was that same pose, and I laughed at it, and nobody else did. So like, oh, I feel weird now. I always feel weird when I'm the only one laughing in a movie. Like, generally, if I go with people, the people I go with also laugh, so that I'm not the only one laughing. But it's weird when there are other people in a theater and you're the only person laughing at a joke. But yeah, it's just got a lot of like weird jokes, and the Foo Fighters aren't great actors. None of them are great actors. This movie, but it moves at a good pace. Like, it just keeps going. It doesn't try to like give depth, or like, I'm not even sure you're supposed to feel anything for any of these characters, other than they're the Foo Fighters. Like, I think that's it. It does make me want to go out and like see if I can't find a Foo Fighters greatest hits album. Um, I don't know they have some good music. They really do. But yeah, it's this weird movie. It's got a lot of great practical effects for the horror elements of it. Some of them look really good. Some of them I think were made to look bad and look funny. I think it's a mix of both. I think like for every one that looks really good, I think they sprinkled in a couple that look bad, because in the classic slasher movies, you would get like a couple of effects that would look really good, but to balance that out, there'd be real bad effects. Like, oh, we spent 20 minutes on this one kill, but now we gotta spend 5 minutes to get these two kills done, so they're not gonna look as good. One guy actually gets his head run over by a van, and it's literally just a porcelain head that just shatters as the wheel goes over. Like, there's not even any gore inside of it. Like, they didn't even bother to fill it with gore. They just took them. Like, it's a great moment. It's really quite amusing when that member of the band bites the dust. Yeah, it's just a really. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I don't think this video is going to be as long as some of my other bonus videos, just because I don't have a lot more to say. It was fun. You don't have to necessarily like the Foo Fighters to like this movie. I mean, I know of the Foo Fighters. I know of their music. I know some of their songs. I'm not I couldn't name any other member other than Dave Grohl, and I just watched the movie, and I still can't name any other member of that band other than Dave Grohl. I could probably identify him now, like, especially the guys that, like, oddly enough, the members of Foo Fighters who still look like older rockers, like, are almost undiscernible. But the members who kind of look more like dads are actually, like, they stood out way more. Like, they were way more memorable, and they actually had way more interesting character to them, because like the ones that looked like aging rockers, like one of them was very new agey and trying to bang the neighbor played by Whitney Cummings, which they do, and then they get penetrated by a chainsaw. That's a fun kill. But yeah, he's a new agey looking one, and he plays the keyboards, and the drummer just got a weird mouth. His beard and mouth do not look good together. I don't know his name, but his beard and mouth do not look good together. But yeah, then the guitarists, they're visually, they stand out more, and their characters stand out more, because like one of them was actually good at doing the comic relief stuff. Sorry, I needed a drink. I have a nice glass of orange juice in my Great Muppet Caper cup. Next week, Wednesday, I cover the Muppet franchise. I just did not make that a thing, so I could make that reference that my video this upcoming Wednesday is the Muppet franchise. Just realized it as I was taking a drink of my orange juice. Anyways, back to rock and roll dads. Uh, like, one of them actually makes some good jokes. Another one at least brings up the fact that they're married with kids and that they've been working on, because they spend like a month at this house working on this album, and he's got a great line of going, "My kids think I'm dead," which is, given the fact that, members of the band start to get slaughtered shortly after that. It's a pretty amusing line. And then the last one is, it's the most interesting one, because apparently this house that they're staying in to record this album doesn't have enough bedrooms, so he isn't sleeping in a bedroom. He's sleeping on the kitchen counter, because there's nowhere else to sleep, and the snacks are in the kitchen. Which is just a great throwaway line. It was just a great throw. Why are you sleeping there? Well, there was no other bedrooms, and my snacks. It's great. It was a great throwaway line. But yeah, like, those are the three that, like, I remember more. I think actually one of them name is Dave. I think one of them is Peter. I think the other one is Chris. I think those are the three dads. I think I might actually remember the three dad-looking guys. I remember their names. And the two actually, like, aging rocker-looking guys, no idea. I don't know what their names are. But yeah, I liked it. I liked Studio 666. It was a fun movie. It's definitely worth the watch. If you don't want to spend the money to see it in theaters, that's cool. I'm sure it'll end up on a streaming service somewhere in the next month or so. And check it out. It's a fun film. Just don't expect great acting, because again, it's the Foo Fighters, and they're all like, again, they're basically like, Will Forte's in this movie for 2 seeds. Same thing with Jeff Garlin. Jenna Ortega is also in all of 2 seeds and only has dialogue in one of them. So yeah, the brunt of this movie's acting skills is the band, the Foo Fighters. So, and they never fight any Foos. And maybe, does a demon count as a Foo? Is the demon a Foo? Because if the demon's a Foo, then they do fight a Foo. I don't know. I don't know what counts as a Foo right now. Man, maybe that should be the title of this video. From Studio 666, do the Foo Fighters fight a Foo? I need sleep, probably. But, I mean, yeah, check it out. It's worth the time. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Studio 666. Thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Again, this Wednesday, I've got my franchise review of the Muppet franchise, starting a new franchise month. I'll also be talking about other great franchises like Nightmare on Elm Street, Die Hard. I lie. Wednesday is Shrek. Muppets is later in the month. Shrek is Wednesday's video. I lied. It's Shrek. I'm talking about the Shrek franchise. Bad content creator. Bad. Alright. I'm going to let you go. Thanks for watching this video. Have a good one.